Accounting and marketing are very similar in that our work depends heavily on labor, which is expensive. So having a few passive income streams, FAQ sections, marketing tools on our website cuts out so much repetitive work and creates a little bit of security net for us.
Welcome to the MediaBooks Podcast, the only place on the internet where creative accounting isn't a bad thing. Owning a virtual firm today means having a professional and modern online presence, and in this podcast, we talk about how to do just that. My name is Kristen Corey, and I am the owner of MediaBooks, a media agency that provides creativity exclusively to accounting firms. And if you're an accounting firm owner, you're in the right place. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the MediaBooks Podcast. This podcast episode is actually inspired by a Threads thread? Is that what we're calling it? It's where someone asked, what are your best investments you have made into your business and what are your regrets? Spoiler alert, my biggest regrets are HubSpot and not starting a YouTube account sooner, but let's keep it positive. Let's talk about my best investments. That's where the good stuff is, and we are going to start with a headline. So there's this new trend you may have come across, and it's called de-influencing. Basically, it is the idea that influencers become honest. Have you ever noticed how influencers are always like, I always love the products that that they sent me, and I'm always super picky with the brands that I work with. And while that may be true to a degree, rarely do they talk about brands that they work with that they do not like. And essentially that's what de-influencing is. It's basically calling out these trends or popular products that are not as great as people claim they are. It's about a more honest take. Sometimes it's this product is overpriced and you can get the same product with the same ingredients under a different brand or X store. Sometimes it's this brand product is just vitamins with good marketing and it has an excellent influencer program that pays really well, which is why you're seeing it all over the place. And really the whole idea here is for people to be honest, like aggressively honest, which I don't see a big issue with. On the accounting side of the internet, people seem really honest about the tech that they do and they do not like, but consider your niche or the market that you serve. Can you say the same thing about them? And de-influencing is more about helping people save money or understand motivations beyond marketing. And if you're an accountant, that is right down your alley. If you can present numbers to de-influence a product, service, or app, this can be a great way to build credibility with your audience. So, for example, I am going to de-influence HubSpot, and I will all day. We started out with HubSpot, and at first I was a big fan, but down the road I realized I was just a big fan of their marketing, not necessarily their product. They have excellent marketing, and if you go to like any HubSpot blog, you are going to open 10 tabs, and because you want to read all these different articles that they mention in a single blog post. And then they have all these free tools that you can use, like their email signature. If you just type in HubSpot email signature, you'll find it. It's a free tool that you can use to create email signatures. And they have all these ways that they get you, and then they charge you like a crazy high amount for their tools. And I'm not a big fan of the app, just again because they charge high rates for frankly mediocre products. But if I was advising clients, I would show them essentially 5 to 10 apps that could achieve the same results as HubSpot at a fraction of the cost. And I'm sure, it's out there that there is another app for everything that HubSpot does. And it's pretty easy to show that it's overpriced. So if I was you, that's what I would do. Okay, now the more positive side of things. As I mentioned, I saw this great thread about your best and worst investments in your business. My worst, HubSpot, and then Also, not starting a YouTube account sooner. Both seem self-explanatory at this point, but my best investments are ones that really help me find some consistency and pacing in my business. They're things that I'm proud of. They're things that make me feel like a real business owner, and I find that they help elevate my brand. They help me do things more efficiently. Each one, if I had to start my business over from day one, let's say everything burned down, these are the things I would do. Number one thing is start a podcast. This is one of my best investments because this is a platform I have a lot of control over. I can publish a podcast episode, yes, on Squarespace, but I can also publish a podcast episode on a number of other platforms. There are a number of places I can publish my podcast to, not just Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts. I can control how often, when, and what I post. I do enjoy the creation process of it. The podcasting space does not feel as saturated as some other marketing spaces. Even though it feels like there's a ton of podcasts out there, it doesn't necessarily feel like I'm saying the same thing as everyone else. And I mean, there doesn't seem just to be a lot of hectic noise, and it really is one of the most honest ways that you can connect with your audience. This was one of the big selling points for me, is that yes, reading something or seeing a photo of someone, you can connect with them to a degree, but hearing their voice, like when they're cooking dinner or when they're in a car and they're sort of in this relaxed state, you can kind of talk to them as if you're talking to a friend, and you don't really get that in a lot of the other marketing channels that you can go down. A number of clients have gotten to know me through podcasting. There have been times actually when I've been in consultations where the person on the other end already knows me and my story, and the relationship is somewhat already built. It just sets us off on the right foot. They know me, they know what they're getting themselves into more or less, and we can kind of skip the small talk. We can kind of go straight to like, hey, how are things in Japan? Is it still snowing? How's your dog? They were pretty loud in that other episode, that sort of thing. And so it really has been one of my favorite ways to market. And frankly, I don't see it stopping anytime soon. And so I love podcasting. That's definitely something that I would do from day one. The second area of my business that I think this is actually probably number one, the best investment that I made, because I think it just elevates the look so much, and that is brand photography. I believe this is the number one reason people fall in love with websites, and that is big coming from a web designer. If there is a website that you love, I'm going to bet that they do not use stock photography, and if they do, it is probably really high quality stock photography that you have to pay for, that you have to go out and find specific images, and it's part of a whole album. It's not just everyday stock photography. And even then, to actually see photos of the business owner, to see photos of their office, to see photos of the people that you're going to be working with, and for their personality to come through, and then one cohesive brand on their website, it's chef kiss. Brand photos elevate your brand so much, and you can use them for years, especially if you are a virtual firm. You can use them for your website, you can use them for email campaigns, all your marketing materials. And if you do not have any brand photos right now, I highly recommend getting some and going beyond just a few headshots. Get some candid shots in. You don't need to hire a photographer, a $3,000 photographer. They have some that you can find for less than $1,000, and honestly just get 50 photos, and that'll take you quite a long way. But you can also just find a college student, or if you have a kid that's in high school that knows how to use social media, or they love taking photos of themselves, be like, hey, I need you to set up a professional photo shoot with me. I need it in my office. And I mean, we've talked about this, here and there about setting up brand photos, but this, without a doubt, if my business burned down and I lost everything, this would be one of, if not the first thing I would do. Brand photography, best thing ever. I don't know how to take photos of myself, but I'm sure if I did, maybe that would be my business, but it's not. Third thing is building out my website. Originally, I used my website like most service-based businesses. You have a homepage, you have an about page, services, contact page, but there really is so much more you can do with that. And once I started building out my website, I created all these like new opportunities, and it feels like we have sort of an answer for bookkeepers and accountants at every stage, from beginning to, heck, they have a business that's big enough that they can sell. We can kind of accommodate that wide of a range. And a lot of that is just by advancing or building out our website. You can find out what we think about different apps on our website. I have affiliate links that help generate a little bit of passive income. I host our podcast from our website. I sell digital products like our lead magnets and website templates. I also have our full portfolio, and the list goes on there, but I can also do a whole bunch of other things with my website. Accounting and marketing are very similar in that our work depends heavily on labor, which is expensive. So having a few passive income streams, FAQ sections, marketing tools on our website cuts out so much repetitive work and creates a little bit of security net for us. I have also seen accountants use their website to build out landing pages for new clients, to create member areas for exclusive content, collect payments, store common links for clients like client portals. And while this is all great, a big part of getting more out of your website, the first thing you need to consider is make sure that you're using a website builder you are familiar with. Personally, if you listen to this podcast for any length of time, you know I'm a big fan of Squarespace because it is so user-friendly, but you can do so much with it. If not, make sure you are working closely with a web designer who can really help you build out your website. You want a web designer that you can partner with, and they're not going to charge you an arm and a leg just for changing the title of a web page. Lastly is Flodesk. Squarespace and Flodesk are the two apps I have not moved away from since day one. Nearly every other app on my tech stack has changed since I started MediaBooks. Flodesk is one app I am certainly glad I invested in. And much like my website has grown with us, so has Flodesk. The price is reasonable. It has that minimalist platform or kind of usability that I love. And it's not just, we don't just use it for email campaigns. We also sell products out of Flodesk. I use it for pop-ups on my website. It is a big part of our marketing strategy, really just beyond email campaigns. And also, if you do check the show notes, we have a 50% off for 1 year. And that is an affiliate link, so be sure to check that out. Your website is the foundation of your marketing. And if you're trying to market or grow your online accounting firm without a virtual office front, you're missing out on optimizing your business. Post job descriptions, showcase all your services, host a podcast, sell digital products, provide affiliate resources, or simply let people get to know your team better. If you have a vision for your website but no one to help you build it, start your research by visiting our website. There, you will find user-friendly apps, resources, and website templates all designed to help you build your accounting firm's website. And be sure to check out our custom web design services, where I work right alongside you to build your virtual office front. Find it all at MediaBooksAgency.com. MediaBooks, the only place on the internet where creative accounting isn't a bad thing.